Hi Stampers, it's Elizabeth from StampScrapandMore.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Canada. And we're going to make a card today, but apologies because I just came back from getting a facial, so I've got no makeup on and my hair is in a ponytail and I have spa hair. So it's like sticking out all over the place, but that's okay. That's not why you're here. You're here to see the card. This is the card we're going to make using the Under My Umbrella stamp set and the coordinating punch. And let's get over and I'm going to give you what we're using and measurements. Okay, so we are going to be using the Under My Umbrella stamp set. We're going to use this image, this one, this flower, that flower, and the Hello Sunshine, but you can use any combination that you want. We're going to use the coordinating punch because we need the umbrella. I'm also going to be using the stitched rectangle dies, and we're going to be using the third one from the smallest of the nested set. So this guy here. And we're also going to be using the Scripty 3D embossing folder, which is well loved and well used. And we're going to be using black memento if I don't get it all over my hands, which I already have. Granny Apple Green and the Gorgeous Grape. We're going to be using Dazzling Diamonds. Where did I put my fine tip glue? We're going to be using the fine tip glue, which I don't know what I did with it, but it's somewhere on my table. I have another one, so we'll be using fine tip glue. Dimensionals as always. And we're going to be using some Stampin' Blends. We're going to be using Highland Heather, dark and light, Old Olive, dark and light, Mango Melody, dark and light, and Flirty Flamingo, dark and light. We're also going to be using the color lifter. Oh, we're going to be using some of the silver metallic thread. And we're going to be using Designer Series paper from the coordination release, which is the Pleased as Punch Designer Series paper. I'm going to use this pattern. And, you know, dimensionals and Tombow glue. And the cardstock we're going to be using is Whisper White Thick, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to be using a piece of Highland Heather. I had to think about that one, which is 5 1/4 by 4. I have already cut it out and embossed it. And just a bit of a tip, you should always cut, then emboss. If you emboss first, then cut out, when you run this through your die cutting machine, you will flatten all of the relief, all of the embossing. So cut first, then emboss. Scrap piece of Granny Apple Green and scrap piece of Whisper White. And I also used some rhinestones because, you know, everything needs bling. All right. So this is the cardstock, Whisper White Thick. Oh my God, Elizabeth. Look, I'm getting ink all over my hands. Hold on. I'm going to take a baby wipe and just wipe my hands off because I don't know. Me and black memento gets all over. So what I'm going to do with this card, since I've got a little scrub of black there, which you can't even see, that's going to be the front of the card. Oh no, it can't be, Elizabeth, because that's going to go there and you're going to see it. Oh, so hold please while I cut another piece. Okay, I'm back. I've cut another piece and I've scored it and I've washed my hands. So there's always ink on my hands. Okay, we're going to score that in half, or fold that in half. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, because I have already cut this out and cut it out and then emboss it, I'm going to dry fit this on the top of the card like that, because we are going to stamp the umbrella handle. We're going to stamp it in the Granny Apple Green. I should just stop using black memento. Please tell me, because if you get black all over you like I do, I don't know why. It's the black one, the more than anything. That I think it's every time I re-ink it, it gets onto the outside of the stamp pad, and then I touch it, and you know what happens next. And I'm just going to put the handle sort of like that. All right. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Gorgeous Grape, and on this card I put the Hello Sunshine too far to the right, so I'm going to leave this here as and I'm going to put the Hello Sunshine a little bit more in the center like that, near the handle. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to bring out the black ink and wish me luck. So I'm going to take the Designer Series paper, and you see I've already made a couple of cards, and I'm running out of space here, and the black ink. Okay, and I'm going to stamp the image for the umbrella on the bottom, and I just want to make sure that I've got it kind of straight. So what I've done is I've the top of the umbrella, there's a little knob here on the top. I'm putting it on one of the stripes. There we go. Oh, Elizabeth. Yes, I'm wiping my hands already. And while I've got the black out, I am going to take the two flowers we're going to use. And I'm just going to use a scrap because we are going to fussy cut these out. There's one. And that way I can take the black off the table. And two. And then while I've got the black out, I'm going to take a scrap piece of the Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to cut out the boots. And then I'm going to take the black and put it away. There we go. And just wipe my hands off just in case. Okay. Done that. Now I'm going to take the punch because we're using a coordinating punch. And I'm just going to punch out the umbrella, or the top of the umbrella. You can also stamp it on plain Whisper White, the umbrella top, and color it in with the Stampin' Blends, but I just like, I just think this is a fun pattern for an umbrella. I'm going to leave that aside. And now we are going to do some fussy cutting of the boots and the flowers. Now, there's a debate on fussy cutting. Some people say they like to color first, then fussy cut. Others like to cut first and then color. I don't have a preference one way or the other, but I do know some people that are very adamant they want to color first. With these boots, we use the Granny Apple Green, but we're going to color it over with the Old Olive, only because I wanted the Granny Apple Green as the base, but didn't have, the only green I had was Old Olive. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And now I'm going to fussy cut the flowers and try and do it so everyone has their own way of fussy cutting. Some images are easier to fussy cut than others. This one's they're easy, but you've just got a lot of angles to them. And I know you don't really need to see me fussy cut, so if you want, you can fast forward the video. I could actually pause it and come back, but why not? I'm going to just yak at you. I don't know what it's like where you are, but I've taken a couple of days off work. I actually had plans to go away for a few days, and I was going by train. And if you live in Ontario, or I guess in Canada in general, you know that we've had protests and trains have been blocked. The protests are over, and for the most part, the trains are back working. But the last train to go fully functional are the trains between Toronto and Ottawa and Toronto and Montreal. And the train I needed to take, I could take either one of them because they go through a town called Coburg. And that's where I was heading for a few days. But as of yesterday, the trains were very limited in, they weren't all running full capacity. They were only coming back online in spurts. And as of yesterday, I could have gotten there like at 9 in the morning, which I only had to be there like at 1, and I couldn't get home. And you're asking me why I don't drive. It's about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours from where I live. And I did the drive once and got stuck in a snow squall because it runs along Lake Ontario. And I got to tell you, by the time I got where I was going, I was so stressed and was fearful of having to drive home again. So now I take the trains in the winter time. But anyhow, alas, so yesterday I got up and I went, okay, I'm a need to know kind of girl and I need to know what I'm doing. So I called where I was going. I said, I'm sorry guys, I'm canceling. And I lost my deposit, but whatever, it is what it is. And so that's why I booked to go to a spa here locally, which is a very nice spa. But what I was going to do was go to the spa down at St. Anne, which is in Grafton. And it's a destination spa. It's an overnight thing. But you know, some things were not meant to be. So I resolved myself to the fact that I am going to be home for 3 days and play in my craft room and do spa-ish things locally and go to dinner with some friends. So that was the outcome of my journey to the spa. So I'll have to do it another time. So I'm just coloring these. I'm just yakking as I'm coloring. I'm just coloring these in Stampin' Blends, and you can use them. You can do whatever color combination you want. And you know, the Stampin' Up, when you buy the designer series paper, I've mentioned this before, and when I finish coloring, I'll show you what I mean. At the back, in the back of the paper, it has all the colors that are in that paper. So it's pink. So it's really, if you, you know, I'm gonna make this darker. It's really helpful if you're struggling with colors to look at the back of the designer series paper. So this designer series paper, for instance, is called Pleased as Punch, and it coordinates with Balmy Blue, Blushing Bride, Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Crushed Curry, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Whisper White. So I know it's Daffodil Delight, but I wanted a brighter or deeper color yellow. So and the same with doesn't have Flirty Flamingo. It's got Blushing Bride, I think. Blushing Bride and Petal Pink, but I wanted a pinker pink. So it works. And then the last thing we're going to color are the boots. And it's in Granny Apple Green, but I'm going to take the light old olive and I'm going to color in the top of the boots. I should have used the bullet end, but that's okay. The top of the boots. And then I'm going to color in sort of line, not color in, but line where the sort of shade would be. And I'm just going to color in the rest. And then I'm going to take the color lifter, or is that what it's called? The color lifter. And I'm going to blend stuff in a little bit. See how this works. Oh, I'm going to take the bullet end. I'm just taking the bullet end and I'm blending in the edges so that I'm getting a bit of white. You can hardly see it, but there we go. So I've done colored on top of the Granny Apple Green. So that is it. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. you need a piece of the window sheet. And, you know, there's no exact size that you need. I'm actually just going to use whatever I have. And I'm going to trim this down a bit. Where's my cutter? Oh, I'm going to get my little cutter out. I'm going to get my mini cutter out. So the, okay, Elizabeth, what'd you do with the piece I cut out? I'm looking for this. Can you see it on my desk? Oh, there it is. So you just need a piece that is going to go at the back here, about that, so at 3.5 inches. And it doesn't really matter how tall it is. So I'm just going to cut it 3.5. No, I'm going to make it 4 inches. I'm going to make it 4 inches, and then I'm going to cut it maybe to 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Yeah, so this mini cutter is free with the starter kit, and it's only during a celebration. Okay. And then this is going to go on the back of the piece like that. And I'm just going to use some, you can use Tombow glue, or you can use glue dots, whatever you would prefer. And actually, this is the back. Make sure it's at the back and not the bottom. And so you just need to leave a little bit at the top. And what we're going to do is, so it's glued on, and then we're going to just put some fine tip glue and some dazzling diamonds. And that's just to give it my version of a water effect. So I'm going to use glue dots because, so I'm putting glue dots in the 4 corners, and I'm using glue dots because I don't have the patience, and I'm going to put one on the bottom as well to let it dry to make sure it really cures. Okay. And I'm lining this up at the bottom. And then when I put this on, I want to make sure it's even at the top. So however high up you want to put the window sheet, just make sure that, so I've lined the card up at the bottom, and then I'm lining the edge of the window sheet up at the top here. And I'm just going to burnish the glue dots down. Okay. And then it's, when it goes on like that, you're going to put some the fine tip glue. Okay, so let's assemble the card. Let's see what I should do first. Let's put the dimensionals on here first. So dimensionals, my thing is, and look, I got glue, I got black ink on my finger again. Let me just wipe it off. I swear, it like attaches to me. It says, Elizabeth, here, let's stick glue on you. Let's put black adhesive, black ink on you. Okay, so on 4 corners, I'm also going to put, because we have cut this out and embossed it, I don't want it to sag. So I'm also putting dimensionals, and you can cut the dimensionals down or use the small dimensionals. It's up to you. And I'm going to put them on the 4 sides of the cutout, so that it's doesn't sag and it's stable. And we're just taking off the backings, the dimensionals. And I'm going to stand up for this so that I make sure I get it even. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to put the umbrella on. And the umbrella is going to get kitty. It's going to be on the kitty corner, and you're just going to, again, you can use Tombow glue, you can use glue dots, but you're just going to put, it's flush. So I'm going to put some adhesive on both sides here, but don't put adhesive down here because then it's going to try to stick to the base of the card. Okay. Come on. we go. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of the, I like texture and interest on my cards. So there's always embellishments. So I'm going to wrap the silver metallic thread around my finger. And I'm just going to use a glue dot. And I'm going to put it down in the center there. And then I'm going to pull up this side and attach the center. So it's almost like a figure 8. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just supposed to be whimsical. And if you have the ends, you can't see them on here, so I'm not going to cut them off. But if you wanted to, you didn't want the ends to be seen, you just trim it off. Okay. So I'm going to put the one boot there, and I'm going to put pop it up with dimensionals. But you know, before I do that, I'm going to put the fine tip glue and dazzling diamonds. So I'm taking the fine tip glue, excuse me, and I'm just going to scribble because it's supposed to make it look like a water effect. It's not supposed to be, you can, I guess, do it solid if you wanted to, but that's not what my intent is. And then I'm going to sprinkle it in some dazzling diamonds. In my very messy dazzling diamonds. And at this point, you can let it dry and go do something else, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep working, but that's kind of what it looks like. And it just looks like water falling. So I'm going to put the boots, and the boots are going to get popped up. And you're going to, the flowers are going to be they're going to be flush. So I'm going to put the boots like this. And then this flower is going to get tucked under like that. And then this flower is going to get tucked under the, what's it called? The metallic thread, like that. Okay, so let's get some glue on those babies. And every card is going to look different. The first card I did, I had the boots went over onto the actual face of the card more, and so you know, every card will look a little bit different. I'm just lifting up the thread so I can tuck this under like that, and putting some glue here, and I'm going to tuck this under like that. Oh, no, sorry. You probably wouldn't notice, but I wanted the leaves pointing out. I had the leaves pointing under the boots. There we go. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Hello, sunshine. And then you can finish it off with some rhinestones. I'm using my scissors only because they're close at hand. And I'm going to put 3 rhinestones. 1, 2, and then I'm going to put 1 there. There you go. And so there's the card, and it's using the stamp set under my umbrella. There you go. With the coordinating, with the coordinating punch. Isn't that cute? And the designer series paper. But you can stamp that and color it in with blends. I just like that pattern. I thought it looked really cute on the designer series paper. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that card. And oh yeah, my hair seems to be growing. Oh, sorry about that. Anyhow, so that's today's card using Under My Umbrella. Hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon.